Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, we have some breaking news. So let me go ahead and play this clip.
Fox News alert now and some developments in the hush money case of Donald Trump in a New York City courtroom. The New York judge, Juan Merchan, has granted Trump permission to file a motion to dismiss that case. He's already said that he was going to delay sentencing for a little while. He says now that he is going to delay sentencing even further. How long this goes on is anybody's guess at this point. Obviously, the judge is going to consider this motion to dismiss. Alvin Bragg, the Manhattan DA, agreed that Trump's attorneys should have an opportunity to file a motion to dismiss to be considered by Judge Merchan. But here's the thing, is that Bragg and his office are willing, if Judge Merchan does not grant the motion to dismiss, Bragg and his office are willing to wait until January 20th, 2029 to resume this case. They said that they're willing to put it on hold for more than 4 years and then start it all back up again when Trump leaves office. I mean, that is by any stretch of the imagination unprecedented in American judicial history. So very soon, we don't know when Trump...
Well, the entire thing was really unprecedented because it was never about the rule of law and it was never about justice. The entire exercise was the Establishment Uni-party who had hijacked our culture, hijacked our institutions, hijacked our justice system. It was all used to convince as many people as possible that Donald Trump was a one-dimensional villain and not to vote for him. It is, in fact, and can be described as, when interpreting things through a similar lens that the left uses, and that is that it was an intentional maneuver or election interference. It was intentional. This was a coordinated effort to make Donald Trump look as bad as possible, to sour things so badly that people would not vote for him. And it is obvious, but it being unprecedented is an understatement. It genuinely is, because Judge Merchan was setting was going about this in a novel way, because he was going to allow jurors, individual jurors, to reach verdicts. See, 4 jurors could agree on the first crime, four could on the second, and 4 on the third. This is unheard of. This is not the way it works. This is not the way juries work. It has to be unanimous, right? And so this absurdity is absurdity, and we can see more of the absurdity when it came to the fraud case, and we'll just skip right to it. Here's Kevin O'Leary.
Companies who would not, of course, to protect.
And he says it's worth $400 million.
I know.
When you get a developer that builds a building, and he says it's worth $400 million, and he wants to borrow $200 million from a bank, which happens every day, everywhere on Earth, including every American city. Every developer is an entrepreneur. They shine the light on their building and they say it's worth $400. The bank does its own due diligence, as was done in this case, because they're very good at it. The banks are very good, and they say, no, it's worth $300. We're only going to loan you $150 million. That haggling has gone on for decades. That's how it works. And then in this case, even, the bank that was supposedly defrauded testified and said, we didn't lose anything. We want to do business with this guy again. We'd like to. But the judge said, no, 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 no. Let's penalize this developer for $355 million. And if we're going to do that, let's penalize all the developers all across America. They've all done the same thing. All of them should go to jail, and we should stop building buildings. That's what the message is from New York. Even the governor herself is concerned about what this looks like to investors all around the world. It's not just U.S. domestic. All around the world, people are...
Yeah, Hochul had to come out and calm all the businesses down because, as O'Leary said, this is the way real estate business is done all over the world. And the idea, like he was saying there, the idea that Deutsche Bank was defrauded, that the bank didn't do its due diligence. It's like the judge is trying to compare Deutsche Bank to a unsuspecting person at a yard sale who's about to be price gouged. It's unheard of and ridiculous. And as he said there, Deutsche Bank wants to do more business with Donald Trump. Why? Because Donald Trump paid the loan. No one was defrauded. There was no victim. Technically, the only victim in this is Donald Trump, because we see across the board here a coordinated effort by both Judge Merchan and Judge Engoron at the direction of Letitia James, at the direction of Alvin Bragg. This was all a coordinated effort. Letitia James ran on trying to destroy Donald Trump in New York. That was her campaign. Most of her campaign was based on going after Donald Trump. And this is exactly what they're doing. And this is why they're so concerned about Donald Trump. This is why they're so concerned about who the new AG is going to be, which is now Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi. And then, of course, who the FBI director is going to be. Because they're going to go after these people. But here's the latest out of CNN. And they say, the judge overseeing the Donald Trump criminal hush money trial has adjourned his sentencing, which was set for next week. Judge Juan Merchan also agreed to hold off on issuing his decision on presidential immunity until after he reviews the party's filings. And here's the thing that's amazing. The View and the left and Trump detractors keep saying SCOTUS granted Trump immunity. No, they granted the office of the presidency immunity. Because if they're just going to be selectively issuing immunity, then the left could argue that there is a bias towards Donald Trump. But that's not what happened. SCOTUS was exemplifying that a president in his line of duty, doing his duty, of course, has levels of immunity. Now, if he goes outside of that duty, then we have a process for that. That's when it goes and is investigated by the Senate. And then, of course, they investigate it, they impeach, and then, of course, it moves to the Department of Justice. But the idea that Trump by himself was granted immunity by SCOTUS is a gross interpretation. Not only that, you may recall Colorado and other states trying to remove Donald Trump from their ballots, right? They were pushing the line. See, the establishment was pushing the line because their attitude is, who's going to do something about it, right? Who's going to stop us? Who's going to challenge us? Well, the reason they have this attitude is because, like I say, they hijacked our culture. They hijacked our institutions. They hijacked our justice systems. And when you do that, you can be a totalitarian, right? You can have an oligarchy of people all working together to run our government like the establishment, which is what they're doing. And this is why they keep talking about retribution. Because this is exactly what they have been doing this whole entire time. It is no longer a mystery. And this hush money trial is absolutely absurd. There's no basis for it. They had to escalate it from a misdemeanor to a felony just to be able to reintroduce it into the court system because there was no underlying evidence that it happened. As a matter of fact, when they were doing the when it was in court, we found out more about Cohen having lied and stolen from Trump than say anything that Trump had done because Trump had the receipts. Legal fees is what he wrote on them, and Cohen was doing all of it himself. He admitted it, that he is doing it all himself. Even his attorney, Cohen's attorney, or the individual representing Coney and or advisor, was telling the same thing. He goes, man, you have nothing on this guy. You have nothing on Donald Trump. It's absolutely extraordinary. But I did want to bring you guys this breaking news here on Friday. Because if this extending it until 2029, not only is it unprecedented, it's also novel, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It illustrates pinpoint highlight accuracy that this is all about political persecution. You're going to drag this out until 2029. Who in the world is going to believe that this has any legitimacy in the rule of law or justice? It is an intentional, petty, thin-skinned pursuit of Donald Trump. It's absolutely extraordinary. I welcome your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comments section. Will Trump expose all of this nonsense as he should? And I believe he should. I want to thank all you guys across New Tech as well as everyone here on YouTube for all of your guys' continued support. Appearing there on the screen, that would be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.